Hey, and welcome to Greek Made Simple. We're going to talk about nouns, a massive subject, a pretty difficult one, a pretty complicated one, but we have to start somehow. So we're going to talk about genders today. Every noun has a gender in Greek, but it gets confusing. That's because we tend to confuse the grammatical gender with the physical gender of something. Those two are not necessarily related. Let me give you an example for that. The woman is physically a female. It's the word. The woman is physically a female, but grammatically it could be a female, but not necessarily. It could be, as a noun, a neuter. Or the chair in Greek, which is η καρέκλα, is also female grammatically, but that does not mean that physically the chair is female. Actually, it doesn't have a gender at all. It's an object. So in Greek, we have three genders. That is male, αρσενικό, female, θηλυκό, and neuter, ουδέτερο. You do not have to know the Greek words for the genders right now. Not something necessary, but what is necessary is to remember the definite articles for each gender, which are o, I, to. When in Greek we see a cat, and we want to know, is it a male or a female cat? We have to indicate that somehow. We have to indicate the physical gender of a noun. We do that using certain words in Greek. We may use different words for male and female. So we have ο άνδρας, the man, and η γυναίκα, the woman. So those two are different words for actually the same thing, humans, but we have to indicate, is it a male human or a female human? The bull is ο ταύρος in Greek, but the cow is η αγελάδα. Same thing, different gender. We may use different endings. We have ο δάσκαλος and η δασκάλα. Both words mean the teacher in English, but the ending os here means that the teacher is a man, he's male. And η δασκάλα, the ending a, means it's a female teacher. We may just change the article. Ο γιατρός and η γιατρός. Both have the same word, but we just change the article in front of the noun, o and I, and it magically turns into another gender. Of course, you understand that each noun is a different case. It doesn't mean that in all nouns, if I change the article, it will magically become female or male. We may just declare it by using the words male and female before the noun. In case of lions, if I want to say the female lion, I'm going to say το θηλυκό λιοντάρι. Θηλυκό is the word for female, and αρσενικό is the word for male. So το αρσενικό λιοντάρι means the male lion. Of course, in some animals, like lions, for example, the female lion, the lioness, can also be called λιονταρίνα, but we tend to use, in many animals, we tend to use the words male and female before the noun, and not the different forms. depending on the gender. Actually, and unfortunately, and I know it's difficult, there's no way to predict the gender with certainty. But thankfully, there are some groups of words that usually have the same gender, and that happens because they are similar things or they have similar attributes. Baby animals, young animals, are usually neuter. The puppy, το κουτάβι, and το πουλάρι, the baby horse, are both neuter. Το κουτάβι and το πουλάρι. Chemical elements are usually neuter. Actually, I do not know any exception to that, but we use usually in order to be certain. Το βρώμιο and το βόρειο, το βάριο, are both neuter. Usually trees are female, but their fruits and nuts are neuter. That's why we say η λεμονιά, female, but we say το λεμόνι, the lemon is neuter, το. Same goes with η μιλιά, which is the apple tree. Η μιλιά is female, but the fruit, the apple, is το μήλο. Moving on, most animals have only one gender for all sexes, and I do not mean that all animals have the same gender. I mean that zebras in general grammatically are female. Η ζεύρα. If I want to say the male or the female zebra, I want to know if it is male or female, I'm going to say η αρσενική ή η θηλυκή ζεύρα. I have to indicate that with different words. Same goes with ο hippopotamos, which is the hippo, and grammatically all hippos are male in Greek. And I also have to indicate that a hippo is a male or a female. Ο αρσενικός ή θηλυκός hippopotamos. What is it? What I have in front of me. Nouns that indicate human beings usually have the gender of the person they represent. So, Yanis is a man. He's male. He's John. So, I'm going to use o. Necessarily, I'm going to use o because he's male. I see him and he's a man. Same goes with the nurse. I go to a hospital and I see a nurse. She's a woman. So, I'm going to say η νοσοκόμα. I'm not going to say ο νοσοκόμα. She's clearly a woman. But how do I recognize which is which when I see a word? I see the word and I wonder, is it a male or female? Or a neuter maybe? Usually, and I'm going to stress usually because there are exceptions and many exceptions. They are not rare. Male nouns usually end in s. S, like, the S in sound. Usually, when I see a word that ends in s, when I see a noun that ends in s, it usually is male. But there are exceptions, and you will see them, you will find them, do not get confused. There are female and neuter nouns ending in s. Female nouns usually end in e or a, and neuter nouns usually end in e or o. So you can go back to the video and watch again and observe that those are true. Before I go, I wanted to say that you should not be terrified or worried because there are many words that you do not know, and I use many words that you do not know and big words. Those are grammar lessons. I focus on grammar and particularly in one thing at a time. So you should be focused on what I point out is the important thing here. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you liked what you've watched, and we are gonna see each other on our next lesson.